I wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You don't. So you had enough of Pacquiao, is what you're saying?
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation. I was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the making. But what really screwed up my whole training for that fight was I started drinking heavy during training camp and nobody knew. Oh yeah. I mean, it gets so I was literally a dead man walking into the ring.
Oscar de la Hoya has long believed that if Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather had faced each other earlier in their careers, the outcome would have been drastically different. He said without hesitation, absolutely, if they fought in their prime, Pacquiao would have beaten him easily. Oscar even went as far as writing an open letter to Floyd, accusing him of being a boring fighter. In the letter, he wrote, "Dear Floyd, you made it to 49-0, a milestone you compared to Rocky Marciano. But let's not forget others like my idol Julio Cesar Chavez also reached that mark, but who's counting? Now, you're retiring. Again, and this time you claim it's for good. So I'm writing to wish you a fond farewell. Truth is, I'm not sad to see you go, neither are most boxing fans. Why? Because you were boring. You were afraid of risks, afraid of danger. The best example? Your so-called greatest triumph, the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Nearly for 0.5 million buys, over $400 million in revenue, and global headlines, yet the fight was a lie. You promised action, drama, war, you delivered none. You should have fought Pacquiao 5 years earlier, not 5 months ago. But that would have been too risky. Ironically, De La Hoya himself didn't seem too interested in retirement at the time either.
So how's retiring?
To tell you the truth, and miserable.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because aside from like my kids, family, and when I'm not boxing, I'm miserable. I'm miserable. For some strange reason, it's like boxing is like my savior. It's like, boxing, that's all I know. That's all I know. I started fighting when I was 5 years old, And so when I'm not thinking about boxing, when I'm not thinking about fighting somebody or training, it's like, what do I go do? I'm gonna go and destroy my life.
At one point, Oscar revealed he was open to the idea of a rematch, but not with Pacquiao. He made it clear that while they had history, Manny's style was just too much at this stage in his life. Pacquiao's got too much energy. Oscar said he's a southpaw, and yes, he beat me. But that's not the fight for me now. I've always taken pride in facing the best, so why go after the second best? Why not go after the guy who beat him, Mayweather, a revenge fight with Floyd? That's something intriguing. He left the door open, saying it would all depend on how he felt. Interestingly, Oscar also admitted that it was his loss to Pacquiao that pushed him into retirement, a humbling moment in a Hall of Fame career.
A very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
Like Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Oscar also recounted a surprising moment with Floyd Mayweather Sr. after his fight with Floyd. Floyd's dad, who was one of the best trainers I ever had, came up to me after the fight. Oscar recalled, "We were close, and I went up to him expecting a cold response, but instead, he said, 'Aw man, Oscar, you won that fight.' De La Hoya believes a Mayweather vs. Pacquiao rematch today would be a massive pay-per-view event. Floyd's about money, and this would be bigger than McGregor, bigger than Logan Paul, bigger than anything," he said. People want real fights, not exhibitions. They want to see legend versus legend, champion versus champion, This is what we do, this is who we are. While Oscar enjoys the business side as a promoter, he admits it's sometimes disappointing as a fighter who still wants to be in the ring.
To them, I guess, if they want to step in the ring and they make money, great. But yeah, that's all it is. It's a money grab. I mean, I would be silly to say, well, I would never do that because it's, you know, I'm not fighting a real fight. I'm not, you know, I'm not giving the fight fans, you know, the best of me, and I'm just trying to make money. Yeah, more power to them, I guess. You know, if people are gonna buy it here and, you know, and support it, then it's great. I mean, it's more, you know, more visibility and more eyeballs to the sport of boxing, and that's what it's all about for me as a promoter. So, but as a fighter, I don't really agree with it.
And if you agree with Oscar, or just love boxing stories like these, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out more videos on screen now.
I wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao, is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation. I was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the making, but what really screwed up my whole training for that fight was I started drinking heavy during training camp, and nobody knew. Oh yeah, I mean it gets so I was literally a dead man walking into